Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Next Chapter. My name is Sarah and this is my little cosy corner of the internet where I share all my bookish thoughts and musings with you. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you the 25 books that I plan to read in 2025. So as always, grab your beverage of choice and let's get into it. I have made myself a iced caramel latte today, but tried something different. I went a bit rogue and I made the espresso and then I made it into ice cubes. So like I poured it into my ice cube tray and made it into ice cubes just for the banter, just to see if it made anything different. So let's taste it. Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good. I don't know if it did make a difference. I mean, it's just slowly melting, so I guess right now it won't taste super strong because the coffee ice cubes haven't fully melted, but it's really good. I'm trying to only have one shot of espresso in my lattes and in my coffee in general because I've been having a little bit of anxiety lately. I feel like the end of the year just always brings up so many things that I want to do, and I'm really trying to pull away from that idea of having to change my whole life in the dead of winter at the start of 2025. New Year in the calendar in which we live in this modern world doesn't really make sense to be starting things new. We're literally still in the dead of winter here in Scotland anyway, believe you me. It is the dead of winter. It's so windy outside. There's a weather warning out for strong winds last night and today. It's raining, it's so dull, it just doesn't feel like the aligned time to be jumping into action and starting new things. So I'm really trying to come away from that thought process. However, it's difficult when the whole world and social media is trying to push that on you. So yeah, anxiety inducing. So I'm trying not to have as much caffeine. And that is my long-winded explanation of what I'm drinking. So let's get into the books. So yes, these are 25 books that I'm planning to read in 2025. I will hopefully read more than 2025, and I am by no means saying that this is an exhaustive list and it's going to stay exactly like this. It's also not in order because I'm a bit of a mood reader, and I also like to try and align my reading with the seasons. So spring, summer, I tend to devote to my Greek mythology books because they're set in Greece or the surrounding areas, and it's sunny vibes. So, and then my dark academia or my classics, I tend to read in autumn, winter. So yeah, these are in no particular order, and I am easily influenced. So if you come on and tell me, oh listen, don't bother with that book because I read it and it's shit, I will take your word for it. Or equally, if you're oh my god, no, you need to read this book that you don't have on your list, I am open to all your suggestions, so please let me know. So without further ado, let's just get into it. The first book that I'm reading in 2025, I'm actually already reading right now. I'm filming this on Hogmanay, by the way, so this will be my first book that I'll finish in 2025. And that is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. And how cute is my little bookmark? My sister and brother-in-law got this for my Christmas. They're little Wicked Witch feet with the little ruby slippers on them. So cute. Anyway, so yeah, I've started reading Piranesi. I've heard lots of good things about this on Book Talk, and so far I am absolutely loving it. It is really unlike anything I've ever read before, and it's one of the only books that I am so let me see how far I am in. I'm 85 pages in and it's not that long, so I'm almost halfway through. I don't really have any idea where I am or what's going on or what is going to happen, but I'm really enjoying it. Susanna Clarke has really built a very unique and interesting world in this book, and right from the first page you are sucked into it. So I'm really, really enjoying this. So yeah, that'll be my first book that I'm reading in 2025. So I'm going to go through the physical books that I have, and then there'll be loads of books that I don't have yet, and I'll just put up pictures for them, and I'll either obviously buy them or read them on my Kindle. So next physical book that I'm going to read in 2025 that I already have is Babylonia by Constanza Casati. So this year I read Clytemnestra by the same author and really, really enjoyed it. Again, it's another Greek mythology retelling. I have little to no knowledge about Babylonia, so I'm intrigued. and it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful book. So looking forward to reading that. Next up, we have Lilith by Nikki Marmory. Now, this is a biblical retelling. So I'm really excited for this because I think it's going to give me kind of similar vibes to like my Greek mythology retellings, but obviously it's biblical. I went to Catholic school when I was younger, so I know a lot of Bible stories, and I'm interested in hearing this from a feminist perspective. So, and it's quite short, so that's quite good. Next up, we have The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I think Pat Barker has written a few books surrounding Greek mythology. This one, I believe, is about Helen of Troy. I've seen this one around so often. I actually ended up just picking it up in a charity shop. So I'm really excited to finally read this one. Next, we have The Virgin Suicides by, I can never say this name, Jeffrey Eugenides. I think that's how you say it. I actually bought this for my little sister and she read it and she really liked it. And I thought, I'm going to try and read this one. Because again, it's one of those books that you always hear about, but I've yet to read. So, yeah. Next up, we have The Book of the Witching by C.J. Cook. If you've been on my channel for a while, you'll know that I really, really like C.J. Cook as an author. My favourite book of 2024 was The Ghostwoods by C.J. Cook. I also read The Lighthouse Witches this year and really enjoyed that. This is her latest novel, so I'm really, really excited to see what this has to offer. Next, we have my classical pick for 2025, and that is Dracula by Bram Stoker. I've always been interested to read this, but I'm not going to lie, I have been a little bit intimidated because it's quite thick, and classics can be pretty dense. But I have heard good things about it, and Nosferatu is coming out in the cinema tomorrow on New Year's Day, and I just feel like it's got me into the vampire vibes, so interested to read this one. Okay, so I'm going to move on now to the books that I do not have physical copies of. I've got my laptop here to just remind me. Okay, so the next book that I am super excited to read in 2025, like I cannot overstate my excitement enough, is The Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is part of the Hunger Games series. I was going to say trilogy, but there's more than 3 books now. And this is Haymitch's games, so we're getting to finally find out what happened with Haymitch and his games, and I'm literally counting down the days for this to be released. Next up, I want to read 11/22/63 by Stephen King. I have been trying to read a lot more Stephen King because I really, really like his writing. This one kept coming up on BookTok recently. I don't know much about it. I think it is surrounding the JFK assassination. That's about all I know. Next, I would like to read What You're Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. Not convinced that's how you say that name. I do apologise. Next up, I'd like to read Anatomy by Dana Schwartz. This is a bit of a left field pick for me. It's not something I would typically pick because I think it's a romance, but it sounds interesting. My best friend read it and really enjoyed it, so I want to push my boundaries this year. I want to try some things that I wouldn't usually. Next, I would like to read the Ithaca series by Claire North. So I think there's 3 books in this, so I'm counting that as 3 books towards my 2025 books. But yeah, I've seen a lot about these, and again, it's Greek mythology, so want to give it a go. I've never read any of Claire North's books, so want to branch out and try her stuff. Next up, I really want to read The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I do like a little bit of dark academia. I haven't read a ton of it, but I'm interested to read more, and I feel like this is a good starting place because everyone seems to recommend it. Next up, I'd like to read What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I believe this is a kind of like fantasy mythological book set on the River Nile. I love a bit of Egyptology, so very interested in that. Next, I would like to read Medusa by Rosie Hewlett. I read Medea this year and absolutely loved it, so I want to read more by the same author. Next, I would like to read Herc by, this is a tough name, Phoenicia Rogerson. Really, again, I'm sorry, I'm not sure how you say that. I want to say Phoenicia, but I don't know, could be completely wrong. Again, there's a theme here, another Greek mythology, about Hercules, I believe. Next up, I would like to read Hex by Jenny Fagan. This has been recommended to me quite a lot, so I want to get in a bit more witch lit, which I believe this is what it is. Next up, I would like to read If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. Again, when it comes to dark academia, this is the one that keeps coming up. And I think as an actor, I would be really interested in this book because I believe in this book they're rehearsing for a theatre show, so sounds right up my street. I would like to read The Will of the Many by James Islington. I'm not honestly too sure what this is about. It keeps coming up as a recommendation for me based on other books that I've read. I think it is a series, which I didn't realise though, so I'll maybe just read this one and see what I think. And I would also like to read The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. So I've heard this is similar vibes to Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And honestly, I absolutely adored Where the Crawdads Sing, and I've never read anything like it. So I'll be interested to read something that's kind of similar. So last but not least, I want to do a few rereads this year, well, in 2025. So the first book I would like to reread is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. I actually also want to reread Mockingjay. I don't know why I didn't bring that through. But Catching Fire and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins, because I want to reread the whole Hunger Games series before Sunrise on the Reaping comes out. So I need to get on this fast. I might actually pick this up next because I think the new one comes out in March. So I mean, I have a couple months, but you know what I mean? I don't want to run out of time. So, and I would also like to reread Circe by Madeline Miller, one of my all-time favourite books. I read it for the first time on holiday in Portugal in 2022, and I just have really fond memories of like lying by the pool reading it. I read it on my Kindle. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my physical copy, which again, I don't know why I didn't bring this through, but I'm going to take my physical copy of Circe because we're going back to Portugal this year, and I thought that'd be a nice like full circle moment to reread it by the pool. So I'm really excited for that. Those are the 25 books that I plan on reading in 2025. Please let me know what your thoughts are if you've read any of them, or if you're interested in reading them now after hearing me talk about them, let me know. I would just like to round this video off by saying thank you so much to everyone who has watched my videos in 2024 and subscribed and interacted with me. I really, really appreciate it. In 2025, I hope to be more regular. I would like to post a video once a fortnight, once every 2 weeks. That is my goal. I think it's achievable. I had been trying to do once a week in 2024 and I just found it was a wee bit difficult. Some weeks I just didn't have the time. So I'm going to try for once a fortnight and we'll see how we go. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in 2025. Bye.